Greetings, everyone. I hope everyone is well and optimistic and in good health. And I hope everyone is someone besides just myself because I'm not getting any feedback and likes, new subscribers, comments, none of that. No evidence of anyone watching this. So I'll have to see what I can do about promoting and advertising and I guess adding some uh, tags to my description. Probably will help. Might help. Probably will help. Otherwise, I'd have to ask some of these questions that I have written down here to kind of keep me on track of what I want to talk about today. And the first one is, who do I make these videos for? Um, if I'm making them just for myself, it, that would not really be very a good use of my time since I already know what goes on inside of my mind. So I don't making a video where I talk about my thoughts and experiences and history. I am not learning anything here. This is actually difficult for me because uh, I do not have a history of public speaking, nor uh, do I have anybody that I can bounce these off of to tell me they're good or bad or otherwise. Uh, my the person I live with, my wife, uh, is into something entirely different than what I am. She is into something that's similar to being a member of a church, only Buddhist. It, it's different than church. Their thing is chanting. They chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo and a bunch of other stuff, and that's fine. It's just that it's not what I do. It's not what I'm about, and that's okay. We have other things going on that make we are a working relationship, at least at this point. My point is that I have not found an audience on YouTube uh, for this, and it makes it well, it makes it so that it doesn't really matter to to me whether I make these or not because well, who's watching them anyway? And I, like I said, don't make them for myself. So today I want to talk about what happens when you fall down the rabbit hole. And the rabbit hole is something other than, the usual career path that society supports. So if you're in this American society and you're going to public schools, you're going to be told that, the natural thing to do is to, or the smart thing to do is to go to college and go to the most prestigious college that you can because the biggest successes in the business world and in any profession, it's to your advantage to have the best education. You know, Stanford, Harvard, Yale, Princeton, that kind of thing. That's not the rabbit hole. That, I mean, it is in a way, but it's it's the career path to success, which is measured in dollars, and prestige, which is this kind of bizarre thing that that you have to believe in for it to be real. If you don't believe in prestige, then it's kind of weird. But if you do get a traditional education, and especially if you get a higher education, uh, such as an Ivy League college, then you will believe in prestige and many things that you know may or may not even exist. Many odd notions. Sorry, I didn't mean to touch the microphone. So the rabbit hole is like a cult, and there's many kinds of cults, but the kind that I'm talking about are like the Indian gurus that came to the United States back in the 60s and 70s, and they kind of snatched up a lot of the hippies, and it was quite a phenomena actually, and it was one that I got caught up in. Although I would have never, when I was before I joined up with that stuff, I would have never thought that I would do such a thing, but I did when I was 30. Before that, I was being groomed to, uh, slowly groomed, a lot of twists and turns to my story, but I was eventually settling in for a life of working in the corporate world. I was I was on my way to being to a good drafting job, perhaps, drawing motors for cars and trucks for the rest of my life. Pretty boring job, but well paying. So it was the well paying part. I was going to tolerate the boring part for the well paying. So I did go down a rabbit hole, and I did fall for one of these charismatic leaders, and I don't consider it, like a complete loss or that I got, lied to or taken. It was a learning experience. And I did gain some things from it. The higher consciousness is the name of my channel, and it's a real thing. And the first uh, the first cult that I fell for helped me in that regard. I did learn some. I obtained some grounding in higher consciousness that I didn't have before. It was the grounding part, but it was also more a deeper level of consciousness that I came out with from that experience, and a lot of other things, not all good, but there was enough good that I'm glad that I did it. And I did it again after that in a different way, in a kind of a. After that, I had a little bit of discernment. Before that, I was just like totally naive. But after that, I was not totally naive, and I had developed a little bit of discernment, and I could tell that, like, well, some of what you're about is bullshit, but there's something also very tangible and real, and that's the part I want, and I can just kind of like make allowances for your bullshit and not, pay any attention to that and not get caught up in the bullshit, and just, sort through it and take what's of value and then reject what is not. And that's the other two cults that I got involved in. That's what I did. So I got, I benefited from all three, and they were all learning experiences. And I learned some things that that were difficult and painful to learn about that whole business and about these people and about the nature of enlightenment and it was all overall it was all good. It was all good. There was a lot of pain in the process of learning. Learning is a painful process. Sometimes, I mean, probably all the time. And one of the things that I learned was that one of the things I was seeking was security. And I didn't understand that that security had to uh, be found in my own on within myself and not in a group. There was no group security without making a serious sacrifice that you really don't. If your security involves delegating uh, responsibility to someone else, then that is not a type of security that you want. The the thing that you have to realize is that security comes from understanding, and and a lot of people are just would rather have somebody else understand, and it's just so much work to learn to understand how things work and how life works. That it's a lot of work, and it's just something you have to do, and you have to understand things in your own way, in a way that makes sense to you. You don't want to buy into somebody else's understanding, and that's pretty much what religion is about. And a cult is like a small level of religion. It's like a mini religion where instead of Buddhism where the leader is dead, or Christianity where the leader is dead, it's a similar where the leader is alive, and then you get to see just how human they really are, and how prone to error, and how imperfect those people are, and and how they can be imperfect to the point of lying to you, or lying to themselves, or trying to create, trying to project an image that's not true. Uh, like, that they're more perfect than they actually are. So you have to find security in your own sanity, in your own peace of mind, in the way your own. You have to build a mind that you feel secure with. I mean, you not every second, but there has to you build it, and sometimes you go off into some kind of emotional state, and then you forget all about that sober, intelligent mind, but not really. You know it's there, and you keep finding your way back to it, and you try to ground yourself in that. And that's the only real security that there is. There's no security in society, the greater society. There's an illusion of security, but then every now and then people, people explode and go off, and all these mass shootings. It's a sign that the greater society, there is no security in that, because it's based on a system of unfairness, and those that are being cheated the most are going to resent it, and you don't want to live in a system that's so unfair and ruthless and just ugly. You, you don't want to live in an ugly construct. So my point in today's offering is that I was able to find something in my experience with teachers and with gurus that benefited me, that I can offer to others to benefit them, to benefit you. And there's nothing in it for me. There's no, it's definitely, and that's because of the nature of it. The benefit that I would get from it would be just, in helping others. It's like that's the real purpose of life, is to, to be a benefit to others. I'm not looking for money. I'm not looking for praise. Oh, you're so great. I'm not looking for that. It's not about me personally. It's about it. It's about higher consciousness. It's not about my higher consciousness. It's about higher consciousness, which is generic and common to everyone, at least, in its availability. Not everybody has it, but, it's there. You can have it for yourself. You definitely want to have it for yourself, whether you know it or not. Once you get a taste of it, then you definitely know that you want it for yourself. And that's pretty much it in a nutshell. So, subscribe, like, don't not like it. If you don't like it, just go somewhere else. I'm not really into, like having people dump their negativity on me. I wish this was like Facebook, where you just like it or don't like it. It's like there isn't a don't like button on Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg was smart in that sense. Like it, subscribe, and you'll watch more if you like what I'm talking about. If you'd like some higher consciousness for yourself, or if you prefer cars and football, that's fine too. I won't, you won't get any of that here. This is higher consciousness. That's not. Sorry. It is what it is. Put a comment. You can contact me from, I think it's the homepage. There's probably a link to Um, or if you can't find that, put your email. Tell me you'd like to talk to me personally if you would if you would like to, and leave your email address. Don't worry about it being public because nobody watches these anyway. You're part of a very elite, small group right now, non-existent group. So until the next video.